And I think we're live. I know I'm a little bit behind you, Michelle. Can you see me yet?
Not yet, not yet.
So I'm going to carry on because I'm pretty sure, almost sure, not 100% sure, I think we're live. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. I know for some of you it's evening or late afternoon or something, and I know for some of you it's in the morning. It might be even tomorrow in Australia. This time thing is difficult enough when we're talking about linear time, time in the spirit world. But when we're looking at time here and all the different countries and all the different time zones, it can get confusing. So hello, why don't I just say hello, everyone, and welcome to our Healing Hands Around the World, our healing show where I'm going to be giving you some healing and I'm going to be telling you a story. Let's start off with healing because last week I was talking to you all about how to sort of use your palm centers and how to activate the palm centers and to feel the energy in your palm centers. And also, of course, when we are giving healing to ourselves, or when we're meditating, or whatever it is we're doing in that area, we use the solar plexus. And again, we talk about, we talk about chakra points. You know, everyone loves a mystery, don't they? And everyone loves the mysterious and the eerie and the, let's make it as mysterious as we can. But unfortunately, though, I'm a feet on the ground kind of a person. I like to be absolutely on the ground and making everything as understandable as possible. Before we begin the show, though, I'd like to say hello to my spirit guide, Greagle, who is standing to my right side. Cachorro's on the sofa, sound asleep. And can we say hello to, excuse me, can we say hello to Michelle? Michelle is once again on the floor. Yes, Michelle, say
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi. She's waving away, but she forgets she's not on camera, so you can't actually see when she's waving away. Anyway, so let's go back, excuse me, frog in the throat. Let's go back to what I was talking about chakra points. Now, it sounds mysterious, isn't it, the word chakra, but it's really simply the word chakra is a Hindu word which means spinning wheel. It doesn't sound nearly as sort of exciting, does it, when we say we've got these little spinning wheels inside of us. Energy points, energy centers. Everything is about energy, and we, on a physical level, have lots and lots of energy. Now, years and years ago, mediums used to talk about, seeing a person's aura. There's another word for you see, aura, simply meaning energy field. It's just an energy field. We all have this aura that surrounds us, very much like the moon sometimes, when you look up in the sky, and if it's one of those moons, it has an aura around it, a glow around it, or very often you see the sun when you see paintings of Christ in sort of those times when he was born. Artists, I'm trying to think off the top of my head a name of a few artists, but my mind is a blank. But have you noticed that that almost all of the religious paintings are painted with sort of this halo or this yellow sort of glow around them, which I do believe some painters were able to see. And when mediums, excuse me, when mediums years ago used to talk about seeing a person's aura or energy field, scientists would think we were crazy. People would think we were crazy. It was another sign of people like myself trying to fool the public until, of course, in 1939. Now, I just looked up the dates for this because I wasn't sure of the dates. I thought it was 37, I don't know why. But in 1939, there was a couple, I'm sure those of you who know me well have heard me talk about this before. There was a couple named Valentine and Semyon and Valentina Kurlian, who apparently by accident, of course there are no accidents, so there we have that, but by somewhat of a fortuitous accident, let's say, discovered that they could actually photograph the aura. Now, it's very common in this day and age, sort of, 60, 70, even, 70 years ago, little bit more than 80, almost 80 years ago, we go to the psychic fairs and we have people there who can show us what our aura looks like. There's a machine that you can get, that people have, that you put your hand in it and it photographs your aura. Now the aura is made up of many different types of energy, which sort of act a little bit like a rainbow. When people like myself will see someone's aura, we will often see it in a multitude of colours, rainbow colours. The aura, or the energy field that surrounds every one of us, and it is now a proven fact, scientists cannot argue about it any longer, a proven fact that every living thing, every leaf, every blade of grass, every tree, every flower, every animal, and of course we are animals, aren't we, but every human, we all have this energy field around us, this aura around us, which we now can photograph. Our aura in our humanness, let's just talk about we, ladies and gents and kids and all that on this earth. Our aura can emanate from us up to several feet around us, which means that because we sort of, have this aura that sort of can go even up to 15 feet around us, that means that if we're in a crowded space, imagine if we're in a crowded space and other people have their energy fields and their auras, whatever, our aura is that reflection of our own mood, our own state of mind, our own state of health. So imagine you're in a crowd of people and your aura is not just bumping into everybody else's aura. That energy is blending. It's coming together, it's blending, it's melding. It's sort of, in one way, sort of explains, how when you have that, I always say that it's the lemming mentality. All those lemmings who just, for some reason or another, one dives off the cliff and all the others follow them and they dive to their death. It's called the lemming mentality. When you're on a beach and you're sitting there and it's just great and you've got all this space around you, then somebody comes and sits like within a foot of you, and then somebody else comes and sits. I mean, it's almost as if we need, or people need to be with other people or to connect, or for whatever reason. I mean, come on, there's so much space on the beach. Why do you have to sit next to me? Haven't you ever said that when you've been to the beach? So it's sort of like the lemming mentality when we all get together, but what happens is our energies blend. And in some ways, it can get to the point where we're all feeling the same or similar as everybody else, because not only are our energies blending, our auras blending, our state of mind, our state of health is also affected by other people's. And those people who have a stronger energy or stronger aura can often dominate other people. So again, it's a little bit, we've talked about this before, it's like, when you're feeling really great and somebody comes along, they come to visit and they're not feeling so good, your auras are blending, your auras are mixing, and they leave, and all of a sudden you don't feel so great, you don't feel so well, because your aura has been infected by, okay? So when we're doing healing, or when we're giving healing, or when we're receiving healing, we have to be very, very careful, not only to ensure that our energy is the best it can be, and that's difficult if you're feeling sick, it really is, to be positive and to try to be upbeat, but you don't have to be upbeat. All you have to do is think the right thoughts, and you can do it in a gentle way, in a soft way, in a careful way. But when you are receiving healing, or when you're giving healing, whichever it is, it's very important that we make sure that our energy is the very best that it can be, which is why we like to have this moment of quiet, why I ask you to sit carefully. You breathe in through your solar plexus. We're creating energy within us as we are giving ourselves healing, and we're creating energy as we're giving it to other people. And my job as a healer, and all of you out there are healers, I know you feel the same way, our job as healers is to make sure that if we're sending out our energy, our prayers, our healing, however you want to call it, if we're sending our thoughts out to other people, we better make sure that it's the type of energy that is good and positive, and it's the type of energy that we want to share. So this is why it's important to, when we're going to do it in a minute, I'm going to get you ready in a minute, so prepare. I want you to sit in that chair and just listen to me as I talk to you. My voice as we're giving healing, as I'm giving you healing, will become softer, will become gentler. My energy will be beautiful blues and pale greens and pinks. The blue is the universal healing colour. The greens for peace, for calm. Of course, the pinks for love. Get an abundance of that, sending an abundance of that your way. And this is why it's sort of a really good idea sometimes, if you can do it, to learn to visualize all of these beautiful colours. You can visualize by wrapping a warm blue blanket around you. You can visualize by just imagine that you're lying on the grass looking up at the sunshine. There's a blue sky. The sun is bright gold, beautiful, 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 and the grass is this nice, peaceful green. And so when you're visualizing these things, visualization is one of those tools. It's one of those ways that you can help to create an energy within you that feels good, even if it's only in that moment, even if it's only in that 5 minutes or however long your healing is going to take place. It's important for you to be thinking in the right way. It's important that, you know, you might have been moaning and complaining in absolute agony 5 minutes ago, but when you're sitting down and you can visualize my putting my hands on you, you've got to help me here. We've got to work together, because I can't do anything for you if you're still moaning and complaining. I can't do anything for you if you're feeling really negative. So in this little moment that it takes for me to send you healing and for you to receive healing, then we've got to be on the same wavelength in a way. I want you to think, just visualize, or even, go get yourself that pale blue, soft, warm blanket and wrap it around yourself. And for these few minutes, visualize my arms around you, wrapping themselves around you and giving you my beautiful, beautiful energy. Because when I give healing, that is what it is. When you receive healing, or if you do this for yourself, what you're doing is you're creating this energy, which means that you have an energy field. Remember, it extends anywhere up to 15 feet beyond you. Don't let anybody else get in the way. Don't let other people's negative energy infect yours. You make sure that in these moments when we're having healing, that you are powerful as you can be by thinking just good healing thoughts. I'm going to soak this up. I'm going to take as much as I can. This is so beautiful. This is amazing. Just let that energy flow out into your aura. Let your energy field just become the best it can be. It's almost as if you're putting yourself in an egg or a bubble. I teach my students to use the bubble. We'd have a bubble exercise. Maybe one day we'll do that for healing, and you can see how that works for you. Maybe next week even. But when you build your aura, you build your energy field, and you build it full of beautiful blues and greens and yellows and golds and pinks, lots and lots of pink, pink, pink. Then you're building yourself, you're putting yourself into this gorgeous bubble, or this gorgeous egg that you sort of is encasing you, where nothing else can get in. It might only last a minute, it might last 5, you might be able to take it all through the day, depending on how much you do it, how much you work at it, how much you're prepared to sit and do this for yourself on a daily basis. I'm going to suggest for those of you who really need it, really need healing, and you'll know if you do, at least 2 or 3 times a day. And for the rest of us, they say an apple a day keeps the dentist away, or whatever it is. Well, actually, healing a day keeps all that stuff away, all that negativity away. So, all right, so sitting or lying down if you feel better about it. I want you to stop your texting, your questions. We're going to come to them in a minute. But for the next few minutes, I want you to work with me and with Grey Eagle. And we're going to just build on that beautiful energy that is within you. We can all of us do this, no matter how sick you're feeling, no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how negative you've been feeling, even up to the last few minutes. We're going to do this healing. I want you to smile with me. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to visualize my smiling at you, my beautiful smile coming your way, and my gorgeous, beautiful healing energy absolutely going out there into the universe. So, sitting, hands, you know the drill, hands palms upwards on your lap, and breathing in gently, 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 please, through your solar plexus. Breathe it in, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then just visualize all this gorgeous energy just flowing through you, flowing down your arms and out through your fingertips, down your legs, out through your toes. Just breathe in that gorgeous, beautiful energy. Now, your energy, if you are tuning in with me, if we are connecting right now, that energy, my energy, is going to be working with yours. My energy is a very powerful and a very strong energy. So grab it, take hold of it, breathe it in again, visualize my arms are around you, my energy is around you, infusing your aura, infusing your body, infusing your soul, feeding your soul, so that as your soul begins to calm and as your soul begins to heal, breathing in again and hold it, hold it, hold it, and let it flow and let it flow. And as your soul receives this healing, as it begins to calm and as it begins to settle, let that energy, let your soul which is being healed, let that energy flow through you. Visualize this energy flowing through you. And again, breathing in and holding, and just let that energy flow through you. And visualize your aura is getting stronger, it's getting more beautiful, it's getting brighter, it's getting clearer. Even if it's only for a moment, take it, use it. Don't think negatively, think positively, because I'm sending this to you. Now, for some of you, you might find, when we breathe in again, that you can visualize this enormous jug of liquid. Okay, just imagine God's hand holding this big fat jug filled with this blue healing water, this blue healing light. Visualize it pouring down into your head, right inside, right through that chakra, that crown chakra point there. There's another one for you, another chakra. Visualize that pouring in of that healing energy flowing through. Your chakra is spinning, it's gobbling it up, it's going to fill you. When you feel that you're almost choking, that the water has come up, that liquid, that blue healing liquid has come right up and you can't bear it anymore, then let go, let go, let go. Allow it to flow through you. Allow it to flow through your arms, through into your palm centers, out through your fingertips. Does that feel good? It feels good to me. And you see, even as I'm giving it to all of you, I'm also creating this same terrific healing energy within me. This is how I'm able to give you as much as I can give you, because as I'm filling myself up, then emptying myself, I'm filling myself and emptying myself. I'm never empty of this healing, because I am receiving as well as giving out. And that's how it will be for you. But for those of you who don't necessarily want to give it out, you just want to keep it all for yourself, that's all right. Why not? I teach my students that the first rule of a healer is be selfish with yourself. In other words, Give healing to your own self first. Make sure that your aura is beautiful. Make sure that your energy within, because your aura is simply a reflection of what is going on inside of you. It's what is going on with your soul. It's what is going on with your mind, with your heart, with your feelings, with your physical self. So when I look at a person's aura, if I see, for instance, I can look at Michelle and I can see she put her shoulder out yesterday, and you can see that greyness around her shoulder where her aura is not quite as bright as it should be. So as a healer, I'm going to zap it a little bit. I'm going to send her a little bit of energy there so she can feel better about it. Her aura will create what is going on inside will create this beautiful aura that, it's a protection, it's a healing, it's an energy field that helps you, that feeds your soul. So let's just try this one more time, shall we? So for those of you who like to visualize a blue blanket, that's great. For those of you who want to visualize this water coming through, you can do both if you want to do. Wrap yourself in a blue blanket and then visualize this beautiful, beautiful, clear, healing liquid flowing into you through your crown chakra. The more we do this, the more we perfect it. And for those of you who don't want to do anything at all, you just want to keep your eyes closed and just listen to me sending you healing and giving you healing, that's okay too. However it is that you want to do it, let's do this one more final time. Breathing in through your solar plexus. Remember, keep your hands, palms upwards in a receiving position, please, 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 on your laps. And breathing in through your solar plexus and filling your lungs, filling you up, that blue liquid filling you up from the top through, all the way through, until you can't stand it any longer. You are so filled up with this gorgeous, beautiful energy. Hold it, and let it go. Let it flow through you, let it flow through you physically. Allow it to go out through your fingertips, allow it to go out through your toes. Just allow that energy to flow through you and relax. Woof. Okay. You can open your eyes whenever you feel like it, and if you don't want to open your eyes, you sit like that and just take it in and just enjoy that energy. I always, when I'm giving healing, I always like to give my patients a little sip of water. So, the next time you do this, maybe you'd like to have a nice cold glass of water sitting next to you on a little table or something, so you can reach out for it and take a few sips and relax. Just relax and just simply enjoy the healing process. Now, we've had so many people commenting. We love to know how you feel. We would love to know if this healing is having any physical effect on you. You can have healing and feel absolutely nothing at all. I've had patients who maybe I haven't had patients who've felt quite nothing, but a lot of healers I know a man who'd been a healer for over 30 years. He had patients who didn't feel anything except calm and relaxed, but that was good enough for him, because I'm so often, people so often say to me, well, how do you know it works? Or if somebody starts to get better when they've been so sick and they have healing for a certain amount of time, people will say, well, how do you know it's you? And I say, well, I don't care who it is. I did my part. I did my little bit. I gave of my energy. But it don't matter to me how a patient gets better, if it's my energy, if it's my prayers, if it's combined prayers. I'm not looking for accolades here. It doesn't matter whether it's me, it's a collective thing, which is why we call this Hands Around the World. And if you would like to join me sending healing, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for those of us here. But I know for all of you out there, in wherever you are in the world, 11 a.m. your time, wherever in the world you are, doesn't matter. If it's a collective thought, collective prayer, collective healing that works. But remember, please, 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 dear God, please allow me to be a part of the healing process. Allow me to join my energy with that universal God force, with that universal God energy, so that we can combine our energy together. And please always remember at the end of that prayer to say, dear God, I will to thy will. All right, that means that we have no say. God knows what's best for us. All right, I know we have comments. I know we have people coming in here. Let's have some comments, and then it's story time. And I've got a different story for you, a little bit of an unusual story for you today. But let's first of all have the comments and the questions and all of that stuff. Okay, over to Michelle.
Okay, we have a whole lot of everybody saying good afternoon and hello and
Hi,
thank
hi,
you.
hi, hi,
And so I'm not going to list those separately.
No, that's fine. That's fine, and we do appreciate that. But let's go straight. You all right? She's not really all right.
I'm hobbly today.
Okay.
I needed the healing energy today.
We're like two old ladies today. I got up today and went to walk across the sofa, and my back froze on me, and I said a naughty word because my back froze up, and I thought it was getting better, but there we are. Yes, Michelle.
So we have Diego on.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Oh, hello, Diego. I'm going to say do hello from now on, because wherever you are in the world, hello.
He would like to know if you have any messages for him.
No. Again, we do healing here. So we're only talking about healing energy. And actually, Grey Eagle has his hand on my shoulder, Diego. So here is a message for you from Grey Eagle, which is that you need to give healing to you and to just let the anger go and to let the frustration go, to let life follow the flow. Stop standing in the middle of the river and trying to push it your way. Not sure you would like that message, but that's the message from Grey Eagle. Go with the flow of the river. You can only stand in a river and try to push it the way you want it to go for so long. And at some point, it either overwhelms you, washes over you, creates harm, creates problems, or you just, you end up downriver and you go nowhere fast. Life is like that. Go with the flow. Yes.
Mona is on, and she says,
hi, Mona.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen Rosemary in a long time. How are you? I hope and pray.
Oh, Mona. I don't. Who are you then? Anyway, we're glad you joined us, and maybe you lost me and now you found me. Who knows? Let's have another one. Keep going, Michelle.
Wendy is on, and she said,
Hi,
thank you for this. I'm here, and I'm so happy to be.
How's the ear? We're sending it to you as much as we can. Zap, zap. Yep.
And if you could please remind everybody to write in English, that I have no idea what some of these say.
Yeah, okay. We are getting, we do, in fact, with emails and on Messenger, and people write in all the time. We love it that you write in, but if you could go to your Google Translate and translate it before you send it to us, because we simply don't have the time or the energy. We get so much correspondence one way or another. If you could please write in English, in other words, put it in your own language by all means, then send it through Google Translate, and it will translate it roughly into what it is you're trying to say, and then we can answer you, then we can connect with you, we can communicate with you. So please try to do that for us. Yes.
Pia is on.
Yeah. Hi.
And she says, hi from Denmark in Europe. I love to listen to you, and thank you for you.
Oh, darling, thank you so much. Keep going.
I have to get to the one she's going to read. Hold on.
She's scrolling.
I'm not skipping anybody. She's
trying not to skip any of you. But keep going. Good.
Leslie said that she felt it, that she's tingling with a big heart.
Oh, thank you, darling. I hope it helps you.
Wendy says, channeled it into my poorly ear and to Ziggy, who has diarrhea with blood. Felt all that gorgeous blue energy and used it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Thank you, XXX.
I'm glad. I think Ziggy's the puppy. I hope it. Anyway, I hope it is. Anyways, go ahead.
Paula says 30
Hi,
years
Paula.
since Valerie's program on RTHK. Where did those years go?
Can you remind me? What was the name of that person?
Paula.
Paula. Can you remind us, Paula? I'm not quite sure. 30, I've got, don't always remember. I know. Doesn't the time go? It really does, yes. We were talking about Semyon and Valentina Kurlian, and their camera was first produced in 1939, which is actually the year that the war started. And, I mean, Kurlian photography has been around for so long now, but can you imagine what an absolutely amazing invention that is, and what they must have felt like? There were a Russian couple who had this little tiny apartment, no funding, no help, no government help, no nothing, and they worked together to create this amazing thing, which we now in this day and age all take for granted. But that's often, inventions are often like that, aren't they? Sorry, carry on.
Wendy said her ear is improving, by the way.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Debbie said that she felt
Hi,
the
Debbie.
calming blue water going through her and that she needed that this week.
I'm glad. Good. You don't have to have it this week. Have it every day, my darling. And if you need me to help you, just keep revisiting. This is a show that goes out. We actually do put it up on YouTube. We do this on Facebook, right? But
yes,
we also do it. It'll be in at least 10 or 15 minutes after the show is ended. It will be on YouTube. So however you want to access it, and you can do it every day. Just sort of fast forward from the blurb if you don't want to hear the blurb, and just do the healing. Just start with the healing. 5 minutes, and there you have it. Yes.
Annabelle says, I cried so much, don't know if I'm doing it right, cramped in my jaws, but calm now.
Annabelle, very, very often, healing is a funny thing, because when it's working, it will often release the emotions in people. People who will say to me, I never cry, I'm not the kind of person to cry, will be blubbering, because it's all of that beautiful energy, and it's releasing all of the tension, it's releasing all of the the awful pain that we have, and through that release we'll often feel so emotional, we'll get choked up. By the way, that's the throat chakra working. People will often sob and sob and sob, and sometimes uncontrollably. So crying is not a terrible thing. Crying is a release, it's a help, it's an aid. So I'm glad that this is happening for you, darling, because I think you must need it.
Paula specified. She said in Hong Kong, in Hong Kong you guys had visitation on Valerie's radio program, and then again on UK morning TV.
Yes, we did. Oh God, Hong Kong. Wow. Well, Paula, so did I meet you? What was your experience? Who are you? Tell us about yourself. Anyway, carry on to the next one. Yes, and email me. And by the way, if you have a question or you want to know something that you're a bit nervous about asking, sort of live, email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. But boy, oh boy, 30 years. Didn't it go just like that? I was thinking about Hong Kong the other day.
We were talking about it with Chinese New Year and everything.
We were talking about Chinese New Year, yeah.
Leslie is on. She said, I'm going to use
Leslie.
this not only on me, but on my friend to send to her while she's going through chemo and brain radiation.
If you share this, and we do encourage everyone, please share it with all of your friends. Just all you've got to do is click on share. It's the easiest thing to do. But because you never know, you've got, you know, we've all got lots of friends and so on Facebook, and you never quite know what's happening to them. And some of them are simply Facebook friends. Some of them you might have known in the past, but you don't quite know what's going on with them now. And when you share something like this, it might be that you'll find people say, you know, that just came at the right time, that just came at the right moment. So please don't be afraid to share if you would, because our goal is to reach as many people as we possibly can with this. Yes, next comment, question?
Well, the end of that one was she wanted to know if her friend will feel it because she's not telling her.
Oh, yes. Look, I have lots of people in my healing book. You don't always tell. I'll tell you what else I do. I'll do this on a fairly regular basis. If I'm out shopping, or if I'm walking around or wherever in a store, or even just walking down the street, or wherever it is that I am, and people don't know who I am, you know, you're sort of just one of the crowd. But if I sense or feel or even see that someone needs healing, right there on the street, right in that moment, healing takes but a moment. That healing prayer, our energy can wrap around someone, as long as it's in a positive way, in a good way, in a right way. You can zap it out. And that's what I do. Often I'll see someone who's having difficulty walking, or I'll see a child who I feel is maybe sick or something. I don't say a word, I just get on with it and do it. And again, healing is not about the accolades. It's not about, look at me and this is what I can do for you. It's just simply giving where you can and when you can. Yep.
Christina is on.
Hi, Christina.
And as soon as I went to read it, I got a comment. My dad and I watched and did healing while his struggle with cancer.
Good.
He passed away January 16th, and I'm really glad I was able to watch today, as my soul needed a boost.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that with us. That must have been hard to share, but stories like this that we love. Yeah. Keep going.
Paula said that she was Valerie's producer, and that you didn't know it at the time, but suddenly while on air, that she had just lost her mother, and both her mom and dad had come through to you.
Live on air, I'm taking it. Wow. Oh, wow. Well, how did that make you feel?
She said it was wonderful.
Well, good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for reminding me. Email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaLtea.com. I'd love to hear more about that story. Or how are you doing? Where are you now? Are you still in Hong Kong? Where are you? And what are you up to? Let's have another question.
Out of questions at this moment.
We're out of questions. Well, actually, we're almost at the end of the show anyway. So, story. Here's the story. All right. Now, this is an unusual story. No names. I'm going to call this man, I'm going to call him Jim, and that was not his name, but I'm going to call him Jim because I've got to call him something. And Jim was brought to our healing centre in Scunthorpe in the north of England. And I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. When I first met him, of course, and for quite a while after I'd met him, I did not know this story. It took several months for me to figure out the story of what had happened to this young man. When he was in his early teens, as boys will do, he was very curious, and he had an aunt who used to come and visit with them. And when she stayed, she would take a bath, and the bathroom this is how this awful story began. The bathroom in his house had very high ceilings, and so the bathroom, there was the door, and then above the door there was a sort of like a glass window, and you had to stand on a chair if you wanted to see through the glass window, which this young Jim would often do anyway, because he just was curious about, what his aunt looked like in the bath. It's a perfectly normal activity. Boys will be boys and kids will be curious, and why shouldn't they be? However, he was caught doing this, sort of peeping through, watching his aunt have a bath. Now, had that been myself or many of you out there, we would have probably had a bit of a giggle and left it at that. Unfortunately, Jim's parents and his family were very, very, let's say, religious. I'm using that term in a way that is maybe not so complimentary, but they had very strict rules, and anyway, also doing what other boys would do, and girls come to that, things like, you know, masturbating, playing with themselves, things that we don't necessarily encourage, but we don't discourage. It's perfectly normal, a perfectly natural thing that we, all of us, do. But he was told that he was a dirty boy, and when he was caught, you know, peeping through the window at his aunt, he was told he was a wicked boy, and he was brought up believing that he was wicked, that he was dirty, that he was all of these awful things. And his parents, as I've said, being very strict, at some point took him to a psychiatrist and a psychologist, and he went through the mill, and they gave him pills, and then they gave him more pills. And when he came to see me, he was in his late 40s, and a complete and utter wreck. He still believed himself to be dirty, a horrible person. He would from time to time put himself on a train to London and walk the streets at night in places where he knew he would get beaten up, because he also not only was by this time completely messed up in his head, he also looked very strange. He could barely, his head, I know this is going to sound exaggerating to you, but it's true, his head was so sort of, you know, like this. His head was almost under his arm. He could barely look at anybody. He had the lowest self-esteem, I think, of anyone I've ever known. And he had been under psychiatrist upon psychiatrist, and each one had given him another pill and another pill and a different medication and several medications and so on and so forth, until he became what they said he was. He became a complete mess. Anyway, he would go into London and get himself beaten up from time to time, because it was his way of punishing himself, because he knew that he was a wicked, evil boy, even though he was now in his late 40s. And he was also prone to being a peeping Tom. And so all of this ended up with him being labelled schizophrenic. Now, had you grown up in this world where normal, natural behaviour was treated as it was wicked, and I know that some of you out there listening were brought up in this way, you too probably would believe yourself to be crazy. You would certainly believe yourself to be schizophrenic. So he came to us, this I call him a young man, because I still think of him as a young man, because in his mind it was certainly, you know, sort of very, very confused. And he would come to me and talk to me, and over a period of months, and in fact over a period of about 2 years, we would have what he would consider to be counselling sessions, what I would consider to be just listening and using common sense and allowing common sense to prevail, until at one point, and I had at this point, just to be clear, I had at this point spoken with this doctor, and I had at this point sort of been very careful. I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, don't do any of that stuff. But what I do is I use common sense. And he had healing, and he would come every week, and for at least 3 years, he was a regular, every week. He never missed it, and sometimes he would come to 2 or 3 of our centres, so he'd come for healing 2 or 3 times, but he would be a regular person at my house, because he'd just come for a cup of tea, and he would know that if he came to see me and to talk to me, I would listen to him, and I would, you know, perhaps give him some common sense and sound advice. Healing comes in different forms. Listening to a person is a form of healing, and for all of you out there who aspire to be healers, for all of you out there who are healers, and for all of you out there who you know, nobody ever listens to, you'll understand this. A big part of a healer's job is to simply sit down and listen. I had a fabulous student of mine who I could never quite give him his certificate, because he would listen, but at some point he would listen to a patient, but he'd stop listening. He'd just wait for them to stop talking till he could talk. You know those people? We've all got friends like that. You're talking to them and they're not really listening to you. They're just waiting for you to finish so they can tell you what they think and what happened to them. And you know, well, this is what happened to me. So as a healer, healing comes in many forms, and listening. And this young man, not maybe so young, but he found people who would listen to him, not just me, but my team as well. And he would come very, very, regularly to our healing sessions. And until one day he came to me, and he'd been to his doctor, he'd talked to his doctor about this, and he was weaned off of all of the medications that he'd been on since he was 16 years old. Can you imagine that? 35 years of being medicated when you don't need to be medicated. 35 years of that medication, and we know what medications do. 35 years of being experimented on, first by this doctor, then by that doctor. And not saying that the doctors were awful, they just didn't apply common sense, or, very often doctors get carried away. They don't know what to do either, so hey, here's another pill, let's try this pill. Sometimes we don't need medication, we just need to be listened to. That's all we need. And again, part of a healer's job is to be listened to. Now, 2 years into this, 2.5 years into our dealing with this young man, and we had ups and downs. Don't think it was easy by any means. He would cause us some worries sometimes and some problems, and he would go missing, and that's when we'd find out he'd been to London to yet again punish himself for being this wicked boy his parents had told him that he was. So ups and downs, but we persevered. We held his hand when he cried. We sat and listened when he wanted to talk, and we encouraged him through his doctor's help. He was finally weaned off of all of his pills. And then he decided that he was going to go on a dating site, and he came and asked me what I thought about it, and we talked about it. And the upshot of this very, very long story is that he finally met a wonderful lady. She was about 10 years older than he was. Very tough, very strong, which of course he needed. And boy, did she keep him in shape. They got married. I went to the wedding. And we danced and danced, and all of the healers, we all went to his wedding, and we all celebrated this wonderful man who had persevered, who had suffered emotionally, mentally, physically, in so many ways, simply because somebody told him, many people told him when he was a kid, there's something wrong with you. You're evil, you're wicked, you're cruel, or whatever. We all, in some way or another, have gone through that, not to the extent that this young man went through, but all of us, you've heard my story, that, you'll end up like your grandmother in the towers, you're crazy, and so on and so forth. We've all had people who've disparaged us, and if you keep going at this and you disparage someone over and over and over and over and over, it's easy to believe that other people know what they're doing, and our it's an awful thing to say, isn't it? It's our self-esteem becomes nothing. We are nothing. We become absolutely nothing. And so healing, listening, paying attention to what your patient is saying, simply holding a person's hand is giving them healing. You don't have to sit in a room, you don't have to be quiet, you don't even have to meditate. Just reaching out and holding someone's hand is enough to give healing, as long as your energy is good, as long as you remember to keep positive and powerful thoughts, as long as your energy is filled with kindness and love and the joy of God, of course. As long as it is all there, you know. So this is a happy ending to an awful, awful story, and I've only touched the tip of the iceberg with this story. But the point of this story is that I believe, although we did give him healing in this way, Jim, I think he had healing through us just simply being able to listen to him, to not make any judgments, to not be critical, to not condemn him, to not tell him what to do or how to do it, just to allow him to be himself. And over the period of time that he came to us, he learned that we accepted him for who he was, not for who we wanted him to be. So even after he was married, and he would bring his wife to the healing centre from time to time, they had these little dogs, and you could see his face was beaming. This young man, not so young, in his, by this time 51 or 2 or something, finally, after all these trials and tribulations, did have a wonderfully, wonderfully happy ending. Healing works. Do we have any other comments, any other questions, anything else that anybody wants to say before
Violet's
we
on.
close? Hi darling, how are you?
She says, thank you for adding my mom to your healing list. She's out of the hospital and recovering.
Good.
Thank you, Rosemary. Love you loads.
Love you too. I've been watching your Twitter comments. Okay, next, anything else?
The next one is in Italian, I believe.
Oh, you can't do that to us. We want to hear what you have to say to us. We hope it's nice. We don't always know, but we hope it's nice. But you've got to Google Translate before you send to us. Please, please, please try to do that.
Linda says, love Rosemary and her readings.
Hi.
And Darlene says, hi, Rosemary.
Hi. Lots of highs. All right. Yes. She does this just as I'm about to say, okay, that's it, folks.
Okay, here's the last one.
Yes.
Pia commented that her healing was a blue gel running from her crown chakra through her and out of her belly button.
Nice. Very nice.
That it was very beautiful.
Good. I'm glad. I hope you're feeling good with that. So, all right. So that's it for today then. We like to, on this show, I like to give healing. A little bit of education goes along with that. So all of you out there who are would-be healers or simply want healing and don't quite know how to get it, go back and look at our other, we do this every week. So, and you can always find them on YouTube. I'm not sure, you could probably find them on Facebook as well, right?
You can find them under the healing book.
You can find them if you go into the Rosemary Altea's healing book, you can find them there, or you can find them on YouTube. And sort of, just as I've said, you don't have to listen to the whole thing all over again. Just, fast forward and chop off all the stuff you don't want to listen to. The healing itself is probably a 5-minute, maybe 8-minute session in itself, and we should all be able to find time for that. Of course, we don't always, but it really does help. And it's, really, I do recommend that, especially for people who really need it, I recommend that you have it at least once or twice every single day. So, and please don't think that because I'm not live doing this that it's not working, because even though I'm not live, I'm still doing this every morning at 11 a.m. So if you want to join with me at 11 a.m. every morning, out it goes. Our team sends out healing. We all send out healing to all of those of you who need it. If you want to be put in our healing book, please email me again, rosemary@rosemaryaLtea.com. And please put in the subject line healing, then we'll know exactly where to put you. If you want a consultation, again, in the subject line, consultation. If you want to know where to find my healing CDs, or if you want to know how to find books, whatever it is that we do, or you want to just know more about us, or if you would like to put your name down to be notified when we start to do our online sessions, our seminars, we're getting closer, or if you want to know when the ghost hunting's going on, we were looking yesterday to find some places where we're going to be going, for more info, or if you simply want to be put on our mailing list, we will not automatically, if you email us, put you on our mailing list. It will not happen that way. So don't be afraid to email us thinking that you're going to get tons and tons of emails back from us, because we don't do it.
I think we send 5 a month.
5 a month. If you want to be on our mailing list, please, again, in the subject line put email list, and then we'll know that that's what you want, and we can just keep you posted. We'll inform you whatever's going on, whatever happens. Tomorrow morning we shall be back with our the Spirit World Sees All on YouTube. For those of you who do not know how to get, because people send us emails while the show is going on, and it's hard for Michelle to be looking at emails and looking at all this stuff as well. Find the little thing that says chat. There's a little, I don't know which side of the screen
on
it is on.
You have to go under comment.
Okay, so on Facebook, if you click comment, you'll be able to ask a question or make a comment. That's good. And as far as YouTube goes, live, click on the chat. It'll take you straight to the chat room, and we shall... Poor Michelle is struggling. She's trying to get up on the sofa now. She's on the floor, and now she's trying to get on the sofa. So go to the chat button and click chat. So if you're on Facebook, click comment. It'll take you right in there, and we'll get those comments. So English only please, English only please, English only please. But we really, really would love to know what it is you're saying to us. So please, Google Translate first and then send it to us if you would. In the meantime, again, tomorrow's a busy day for me. So we've got the Spirit World Sees All in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then in the afternoon at 7 o'clock in the evening.
It was 8 o'clock last week.
Thank you. 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Sorry, 8 o'clock. I shall be with my co-host Al Pisano. We shall be doing our Everything is Attitude show, and again, you can make comments or questions there. And then, of course, once we are done with our Everything is Attitude show, then my students are out there listening to this. Then it's class night, and I'll be with my students tomorrow night. So busy day for me. So in the meantime, until I see you all again, please have a very, very blessed rest of the day. Give yourselves lots of healing. Just indulge yourselves. Just do it whenever you feel like it. You can listen to me, or you can even do it by yourself, because I'm giving you little tips on how to do it for yourself anyway. So just enjoy the healing, be well, be happy, be joyful. Have a very, very, very blessed rest of the day, and we shall see you hopefully the next time, whenever the next time is. We shall be back here on next Wednesday, but if you want to join us tomorrow, please do so. Until we see you again, have a very, very blessed rest of the day. And now I'm going to try and switch off.
You want me to do it?
I think I've done it. No?